Glass half full or half empty? The San Jose Earthquakes come back from 2-0 down to lead 3-2, only to concede in the final minutes and walk away with a 3-3 draw at home against Houston. It's a frustrating result, no doubt, especially when the 3 points were so close within reach. But at the same time, there's also something encouraging about it. We fought back, we showed grit, we turned a miserable start into a game that, for a moment, looked like a complete turnaround, and that was largely thanks to the bench stepping up. Still, this emotional roller coaster really encapsulates where the team is right now, and that's what I want to talk about. So first, let's zoom out. The Quakes are currently riding a 7-game unbeaten streak, and compared to where we were a year ago, that's a massive improvement. Last season, we were stringing together 7-game winless streaks, sometimes lost streaks, not unbeaten runs. But this one, it's tricky, because it doesn't feel as good as it actually sounds. 3 of our last 4 MLS games have ended in draws. That's not terrible, but when you think about it, we've scored 3 goals in 2 of those games and still didn't win. That's a problem. Our attack, yes, top of the league. That's not just hype, that's backed by lots of statistics. By goals, by expected goals, shots on target, eye test, basically any metric you want to take a look at, we are top of the league in attack. But our defense continues to be leaky, and fans are starting to question how far we can go if we just keep giving up goals this easily. So let's talk about this Houston game itself. Houston started strong. Their midfield completely overwhelmed the Quakes, constantly closing down space, double, triple teaming any player who received the ball in the center of the field. Harkes and LaRue have been really good so far this season, but even they struggled to get us out of our own half at times. Our response, long balls and lots of crosses, and to be fair, it did work. Joseph Martinez got in behind multiple times. He probably had 3 or 4 really good looks, including one that hit the post and another 2 that forced solid and maybe even lucky saves. Honestly, on another night, that's another hat trick for him. As we've seen in other games, our right side continued to be our dominant side. Jones and Espinosa were delivering some great passes into dangerous areas all game long. Costa on the other side of the field, he did look a little bit better in the build-up. Yes, he was also more involved in the final third, but it just, something about the way he attacks doesn't ever feel quite dangerous. Solid defensively, but again, like we've seen in other games, the attack just leaves more to be desired. And honestly, same goes for Hernan. I think he's definitely been more active than in previous games, but the decision-making is still inconsistent. There are times where he over-dribbles, times where he over-complicates, and yeah, he's had some decent moments. I think it was a cross to LaRue where he got a header off, which was also another close goal, but Hernandez hasn't found his game-defining moments yet, and we're still waiting for that. But the difference makers in this game were Harkes and Judd. Judd came in as a sub and made an almost instant impact on the game, scoring within just minutes of stepping on the field. That goal, as well as the other 2, were in part results of tactical changes I noticed in this game where the center mids were drifting pretty wide for a lot of, at least the second half anyways. We saw LaRue do this for the first goal, connecting with Jones, who then assisted Judd, and then we saw Harkes do this twice successfully on Judd's first goal and Munie's debut goal, the third for the Quakes in this game. It was great to see this, and I wonder how much of it was just Bruce just realizing that trying to dribble through Houston's midfield was just too overwhelming for us. And although the Quakes did concede 3 goals, I do think props need to be given to Edwards. He had his first really big save for the team just before the end of the first half. He's been stepping up in these past few games while Daniel's been injured, and it's honestly just really unfortunate that third goal was a deflection off of Romney. Had that not gone in and the Quakes actually won this game, I think he'd be getting a lot more credit, and just the fact that he concedes 3 goals kind of tanks his stats. But I guess that's the life of a goalkeeper, right? Sometimes you take the blame for the collective team's failure. Overall, throughout the game, the Quakes did show a lot of resilience, and I do think that's really important. A 2-0 hole would have buried the Quakes in previous seasons, but they fought back, took the lead, and the stadium felt alive again. But that also just makes it that much more painful that we did give up the lead in the final minutes of the game. Now, to the metaphor I started this video with, I lean glass half full. We're scoring goals, we're showing fight, we're building depth, and the Open Cup performances have been a really big part of why I still feel good about where this team is heading. Even just compared to where this team was at a year ago, you can't help but feel very, very optimistic. Last year, we scored a total of 39 goals from 13 different goal scorers. Right now, we're not even halfway through the season, and we already have 32 goals also coming from 13 different players. This is significant because it's another sign that the Quakes have depth, and the more distributed the success is, the less dependent we are on any individual player. We've seen stretches of the season with Joseph Martinez out due to injury or national team duty. Chicho has also been recently fighting some injuries, and despite these key players being out, we've still managed to find a lot of goals. And the assist numbers tell a similar and honestly a better story. Last year we had 33 assists from 12 different players. This year we're already at 29 assists from 14 different players. And yes, those numbers do sound really close as just raw numbers, but remember, we haven't even reached the halfway point of this season. And what really stands out in terms of assists is the distribution. Last year, our attack ran almost entirely through Christian Espinosa. Well, not even last year, honestly, like the past 3 to 4 years. But this year, He's still leading. In fact, he's already 2/3 of the way to his total from last season, which are club records that he has set. I think 13 or 14 assists in one season is still the club record, and he's done that twice now, if I'm not mistaken. But the overall dependency on him has dropped. Just take a look at the pie chart. The spread is much healthier. More players are creating chances, more players are finishing them, and that's huge for a team looking to actually contend. But the Open Cup is on hold until July, which means momentum now needs to come from the league. And here's the part that's been dominating my mind all week. The Quakes won't play at home again until June 28th. We're not even at May 28th yet, so we're heading into a full month of road games. That stretch starts with one match that truly is just not optional. This Wednesday, we face the LA Galaxy on the road, and I can't sugarcoat it, this is a must win. I can't speak for all Quakes fans, but for me, if we don't beat the Galaxy this Wednesday, there is no glass half empty or glass half full discussion. There just won't be any liquid left in the glass at all. And if we lose, metaphorically, that would be smashing the glass entirely. Everything else that we've done this season, honestly, would be pretty irrelevant to me. It doesn't matter that Chicho and Joseph are the Golden Boot race, or that Espinosa is leading the league in assists, or that the Quakes are top goal scorers in this league. None of that matters if we can't get the job done against a Galaxy team that has failed to win a game in 15 matches and is going through their worst period in club history. Just take another second to think about that. We're almost halfway through the season and they still haven't won a game. They have 4 points. That would be a catastrophic sporting failure and probably one of the biggest disappointments this rivalry could deliver to Quakes fans. Last year, we had to swallow 4 losses to the Galaxy. And since they're all part of the same circus, we've also lost our last 4 matches against LAFC. That is absolutely disgraceful. And the fans were loud and clear in this Houston game. The second chant of this match was beat LA, along with its more explicit variation as well. And when the game ended, it was the same chant, directed to the players, face to face with their full attention. I know this probably comes off as too demanding perfectionist. We called the Open Cup games must-wins, and when they got that job done, we're now immediately transitioning to this Galaxy game is also a must-win game, but I hope I'm not the only one that lives this rivalry so passionately. To me, the Clasicos are non-negotiable, but for the same reason, a win on Wednesday puts this whole Houston disappointment to rest. No one's going to remember what happened in this Houston game, but the Cali Clasicos have a way of marking seasons as successes or disappointments. So yeah, this Houston game ended in frustration, but it also showed character. We're unbeaten in 7, we've got the league's best attack, and this team is improving. But this next stretch, especially this next match, will define how we feel about the Quakes heading into the summer. Beat LA and this draw will be forgotten. Lose, and that Open Cup win will feel like a distant memory. Let me know how you're feeling about the Quakes, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening.